Hey, I brought extra butter!
Oh
Yes.
boy!
Buckle in because as you can
Wait
already
a
tell, this is
minute!
gonna be
Wait a
one
minute! Wait a minute! I see a bucket of butter, but no popcorn in it. Hype! What the hell?
The popcorn's
all
in the
butter.
bucket, you moron.
It's
I
all butter.
clearly see no popcorn in this bucket. It's just
It
butter.
is all the time. Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Here
no, I'm
the-
kidding.
So, yeah, as you can tell from the length of this video, this is probably one of the longest ones we've done in a while, just because this is the part where it was like, there's no real breaking point I could do, and this is just the end of the thing, and it's a lot of story, and it's a lot of dialogue, but Amanda's safe, we saved Aquas.
Yep, and as far as we're concerned, their marriage is pretty much assured.
Right on, sister, that's the kind of guff that Falco likes to hear.
So, hey,
He's like-
you have a sister?
Ew.
She's more of an asset to the team than Slippy is.
Awful.
Oh, Falco.
I'm right here.
I know.
How dare you?
Falco's got that. All these years, and Falco's never. Aw.
Yes.
Look at
Slippy's
that
just-
ego stroking.
Slippy's just wasn't that Slippy who like redesigned the G diffuser system or something like that?
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
he's the tech guy.
he's pretty much the team mechanic.
Right. Why don't you two lovebirds take them all by yourself? Barf.
Translation. Translation. Get a room, you two.
Oh yeah, the actual
name.
big deets that we were good. Oh yeah, the big deets that we had leaked or Crystal.
Oh god.
Actually, if I could just... Oh, Crystal. If I could just make a joke, he's all like, why don't you two just get a room? Meanwhile, inside Falco's head, why can't I find love?
Why can't they? Why?
To be fair, within the context of the franchise, Falco's always touted himself as a lone bird.
Yeah.
Not
Otherwise
even
he
not even in freaking Farewell Beloved Falco. I think he made that especially clear.
Oh crap.
Oh shit.
Oh, boy.
Well,
She what?
What?
wow.
I told her the one thing I told her never to do was to never leave the toaster out when I just finished making a muffin.
It's like,
and
always,
doing Starwolf.
no, never go out in a blizzard.
I just imagine like, you're not my daddy. I can do whatever I want.
And actually,
So,
just
yeah,
like...
but it looks like Starwolf is actually not working with the bad guys this time. They actually want to. They want to just. They're independent. They just see someone stepping in on their turf, and they don't like it.
Yeah, this time. Well, it's pretty clear they're only doing this though just to one up Star Fox.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Although, speaking of one-upping them, I just had this horrible joke in mind where it's like, I'm sorry, Fox, but I found a real man. Yes, I'm real man. Do you want to go skateboards?
Oh my
You're good, Starfox.
That
but
thing,
okay.
you say that though, Hyde. That honestly isn't terribly far removed from the kind of dialect they give Panther now.
Oh, I know. That's what I was referencing.
No, but I'm gonna say, like, just outright, regardless of what she says, she really does not. She could care less for Panther, as always.
Oh, of course. Like, honestly, at this point, she's pretty much just given up on the concept of love.
She's
What is
honest, which is honestly kind of funny in the sense of like she is honestly like the one of the toughest people on Starwolf at this point.
Oh yeah. Then again, we're talking about the same mercenary group that always gets their butt whooped is by one lone fox,
Mm-hmm.
or at least that's what it was like in Star Fox Zero anyway.
Get here quickly.
Not sure why they thought that was. Not sure why in hindsight why they thought that was a good idea.
Me neither. So again, here comes our big breaking point, which or not breaking point, our big splitting point for the paths.
All right.
All right, so what are our choices? Of which there's only one we can pick.
Affirmative. Let's go and meet up with Starwolf.
Oh,
We
second
meet
one.
again.
And actually, here comes one of my favorite little. Out of context, I love this exchange coming up. Detecting multiple contacts. Angler fighters are closing in.
Oh boy.
And they're in ambush. Oh, of course. Let's make them pay.
So I can get my pay.
You hear me?
Oh, hello. We're getting a
Oh,
message
okay.
from Crystal.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite part. Hey, Starfox, do you hear me? You read me? And Fox, of course, doesn't like it, and he's like, "Hey, Crystal,
Hey,
how are
Crystal,
you?
how you doing?
And I just imagine
hug.
Crystal, and I just imagine I just imagine this funny scenario in my head where like Crystal is clearly only ticked at Fox.
But she's like
So
casual
she's like-
with everyone else.
Yeah,
so
it's like
kinda-
Fox is like, I've never wanted to speak to you again. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Falco. How are you?
yeah, it's kind of like
Good.
I could care less if I can see your face again, Fox.
Hey, Crystal.
Oh, hi, Slippy. How's Amanda?
But that's the whole thing. I imagine she's so casual. everyone else,
It's
she's
pretty much the exact same thing. It's pretty much almost the exact same case as like how Carmelita treats the Cooper gang in the 4th game.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that at some point in the future.
Yeah, probably the next year or 2 from now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
But all things
yeah,
is,
we-
even though we joke about that, but I mean, from the sounds of it, like Fox and Crystal seem to have taken the whole thing that happened earlier, all right. And, well, she's gonna help us out.
Yep. So we are cornered, and it's up to us to take down the whole Angler Empire here.
And for those wondering, no, I don't know why they decided to have her dress up in Cornerian army garb when she's clearly not working for them right now.
I don't think so. Yeah, and they do give her a like actual bounty hunter like attire later.
Right.
I do think the
mean,
helmet's kind of cute.
Yeah.
It's all right. I mean, it honestly does make me think back to actual Cornerian army outfit.
Yeah.
Kind of like the stuff that Bill wears.
Mm-hmm. So let's move here, there, there.
You know, it's still funny to look back on Sector Z. Like for the longest time, I used to think, whenever I think of this place, I used to think, oh yeah, that one level in the original Smash Brothers. Before in every other game, they just put the the Great Fox on Corneria, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Oh wait, I just remembered this. This level also introduces another annoying fucking map gimmick: asteroids.
Oh.
Which means you kind of have to navigate around. them a little
They
bit.
screw around with your strokes completely.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yep. Time for. Oh, jeez, we got a lot again. So, I guess let's just get around to it. So, with this being the last Star Fox game in the in this particular timeline, do you think there's any way or anything that they could? Okay. Do you think there's any way or anything they could do to try to like bring back or try to like pick up where this game? I mean, objectively, it would be impossible given how many unique endings this game has and how
The only way
they
would continue off of this is to pretty much continue off of one of those endings and treat the others as non-canon.
Right. I think the closest one off the top of my head, the closest I could think of that would work with the old Star Fox team would probably be that ending where there's an ending where Slippy grows super old and has a bunch of grandchildren and reminisces on his days on Team Star Fox. I can imagine him telling some tall tales.
I know there's that too, but I also think back to like this one ending that's actually pretty standard compared to the rest, where honestly it's just your typical happy ending where the Star Fox team, well, they've succeeded and they've all pretty much reunited and are going on epic missions again alongside Slippy's girlfriend.
Right. Let's take him out. Freaking I hate this
Oh yeah,
thing.
by the way, spoiler warnings, that's not an ending we're getting.
No. There's one again. There's
They make you work for
If
that
I-
ending, believe it or not.
Again, if I could have gone for different endings, I would have. There's one ending in particular I like that kind of has a better closure of canon, but you're kind of locked into, honestly, a pretty... Which, I mean, I guess that's the point. They give you a pretty crummy ending because that's supposed to be your main, like, encouragement to get a better one done.
Right, hence they give you the key of destiny, so you can actually change it. Oh boy, you're not looking too good there, Chief.
Thanks, Rob. And we're good.
But yeah, like all things considered, though, I'm not gonna mince words. I think the route they've gone with Star Fox since Command, I think, was honestly the most appropriate choice. Because, not to say I don't like where like the franchise went after Star Fox Adventures, but I do think, well, it's pretty clear that it was honestly a very stark change compared to like what we came to expect beforehand, even though it was literally all we had were like 2 games to work off of. Maybe 3 if you count the 2 if you count the unreleased Star Fox 2. Oh yeah, now we have access to Crystal.
So her power-up, she has a decent amount of boost, a lot of very good tight turning with this modified thing.
It should be said that I think Crystal's the only character in the game that actually has access to 2 ships. The first one we have here, I think, is supposed to be modeled after a Cornerian airship, whereas later on, I think it's either through a separate scenario, or maybe you still get it in this one, where she reverts back to a typical Larwing.
Oh, lucky her. She gets 2 ships. Ain't she special?
And that's totally not the reason why Fox literally kicked her off, because he was insanely jealous.
Why can't I have 2 ships?
I mean, you think they could afford at least 1 extra ship?
Honestly, considering with how they like to imply that Star Fox struggles to pay the bills, I'm pretty sure it's not that unbelievable.
Yeah, the fact that they have to do this just because they need to get food.
Well, obviously. I mean, where else are we going to get our money? I mean,
Right.
I mean, we may be mercenaries, but we don't stoop so low as to just, you know, do some interplanetary delivery service.
Right.
I can just imagine that now, where in this day and age, they have no other choice of work. They literally do just become space-fed X-Men.
Well, if not that, for some reason I had this image in my head where it's like you see an R-wing like flying through space, and on top of it you see like Slippy spinning one of those signs up that you see outside of shops.
God. Yeah, I can totally see that. Straight up interplanetary advertising. Like, you could just be passing by this random planet full of green algae people, and they just see that sign in space. It's like, ooh.
It's like, if not that, then maybe if he doesn't do like the sign twirling, maybe he just holds like a giant banner behind him, but he's still standing outside the R-wing, and it's like, Slippy, you doing okay out there? I can't feel my eyelids.
Well, that too. I was just gonna say, I can't breathe.
Suck it up.
Yeah, you breathe underwater just fine. You should be able to breathe out there. That doesn't work.
Well, honestly, a lot of things in this Devil Name franchise don't work. You're picking this of all things to criticize?
Good point!
And also, you're picking me to be the one to try to explain this too? What does that say about you?
I'm usually the one that's just giving a shit for the most minute things.
I am very clueless. There we go.
I'm a dick jockey.
A what?
Right.
A dick jockey.
You mean disc jockey or dick? Oh, I guess
dick
that's
jockey.
That's the joke. Here we go. Done.
I feel like, should I or should I not know what exactly a dick jockey is?
It's a play on words of what a disc jockey is, but
okay.
He's
I can't help but think that it actually is a separate thing, but it's something that
I would have gone with cockmongrel, but that was taken.
Who took that?
Who do you think?
Oh,
Slippy.
no.
You know, to be fair, considering some of the lines that Slippy's gotten away with throughout the series, honestly, he's pretty much on a more, I don't know, age-appropriate level compared to Bentley.
Oh my gosh, this freaking asteroid.
From that previous mission alone, where he literally took out a giant fucking spaceship. He was literally all, "You can run, but you can't hide."
Right.
Like, Slippy's a killer. I mean, look at those soulless eyes.
Okay, see if I can intercept
Those
that
are the
rocket.
eyes of a man that has murdered all.
Okay, and then you're gonna catch that fleet, and then I think that's the best I can do with this for now. Go!
You know, now that,
Nice.
looking back on it, it's honestly funny thinking that we're going to come to a point where you can actually play a Slippy in Starlink of all things.
Oh, that's right. They are adding them all as playable characters, aren't they?
Which
is nice.
They are adding the other three Star Fox members.
Wait. So the Star Fox expansion isn't out yet?
It's not out yet. It's coming out this month, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At the time
I
of
was
recording.
I'm surprised it hasn't come out yet. Yeah.
If I had to guess, it's probably coming out around the middle of the month.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to entail, but basically, if I had to guess, they're just going to give the pilots their own separate perks compared to Fox. So it's like,
Yeah.
maybe instead of like this that improves your attack power, maybe this will improve your speed or whatnot. Honestly, it would be hard. It would be easier to explain if I was actually doing a look at of the game right now. But
I'm curious as to what they're gonna do story-wise, because I do know that the rest of Star Wolf is coming back.
Right, I do remember that much. Which honestly doesn't remind me. As long with beating the game, I actually do need to get back to playing through the Star Fox missions proper. Because if there's one thing I will definitely give shit up with that game, is that I think its overall structure is a bit tedious. Not so much tedious, monotonous. I think would be the better word.
Mm-hmm. Well, is
like
the campaign itself like particularly long or short or?
It's honestly, it can feel long. Because you're mostly doing the same thing on every planet. You're basically going around trying to take out all these hives or beacons that the Legion are using to basically sap away the energy of the planet or whatever bullcrap it is. But basically your whole mission is just basically pretty much eliminate all traces of the Legion that pretty much is trying to take over the entire system, and in doing so, also make your mark on the territory by letting out like some sort of beacon that'll help the Starlink initiative.
Yep.
Actually, real quick, I just noticed like when Logan was drawing out the lines for the characters, if you looked back at crystals, the way they kind of like bounced on that one asteroid, I just get this idea. It's like, my bad.
That's honestly how I feel like most of the time when you're trying to go through those asteroid belts.
It's really absurd how much they like throw off your aim.
Yeah, and again, it just fucking blows.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Screw that.
You know what though? Now
Die.
Boom.
You know what though? Now that I stop and think about it, the fact that you actually can play as the other Star Fox members now, it honestly does make me wonder how they would handle that for like the entirety of the end game stuff, because that would mean that like all the other actors are going to have to provide additional
lines for each character. Because how immersive are they with different like characters? Like in like. If Fox is actually playing, like, do they actually have voice lines for "Thanks, Fox" and stuff like that?
Yeah, there are going to be times where they do use something that's sort of stockish, but for the most part, they gave him so many unique lines that it honestly makes him blend in naturally with the game's overall, like the actual campaign.
That's good. After the moth thing,
like it honestly feels like it feels like more effort put into like making your character feel like they're involved in the story than say Skylanders.
Right, where they just call you Skylander. Yeah,
exactly.
Why
did you think that was a good idea?
I didn't see the parking sign. But so I'm assuming they did a better job with immersion with that most recent one with Crash and Cortex.
Not entirely. I mean,
I do know that Spyro references the fact that we've been in the game together, but aside from that, no.
Okay. I'm surprised they haven't made a new Lego game on the Switch. No Lego Movie 2 doesn't count. I mean,
well, I was about to say there's also Lego
Lego
Incredibles and Lego DC Villains that I know is on the Switch.
And Lego Worlds.
That's right. Lego Worlds. That's like the.
It's pretty much like the outright replacement for Lego Dimensions, just without the Toys to Life shit.
And isn't Lego Worlds like a Minecraft Lego game almost?
That's exactly what it is. It's Lego Minecraft.
Which honestly I think does fit with the whole thing of Legos better than what Minecraft does.
I'm surprised, and it's kind of like the Minecraft Lego sets. You're kind of surprised it took them that long.
Seriously. So with Sector Z out of the way, where do we go from here?
Well, what do you mean?
Just that.
Can't really fly with Wolf and his cronies.
You hurt me, folks. I was upset. I wanted to get back at you.
And laugh at your face about it. Here comes the worried card.
That's why I said it would be better if you left the team.
I know
that.
I can't believe you just up and vanished. I can't believe you wear that helmet that has a C when your name clearly begins with a K.
It was the last one I had in stock.
You could have added a line to it.
Kind of think of it. Where did you get that uniform and that shit? You're clearly not working with the Cornerian army, and yet here you are, pretty much masquerading as one.
It's called the 5-finger discount. Well, hey, she's working with mercenaries. Is it really that unsettling?
Way to make it sound all mushy inside, Slippy. Just, yeah, again, it goes without saying, Fox done fucked up.
Yeah, he thought and the game does not try to, like, tiptoe around it. They're addressing it as best they can.
It's just the problem. It's just the matter that Fox went and did in the first place, which is so stupid. Because, again, she is a very fucking capable fighter. Many would argue that she's more of a capable fighter than even Falco and Slippy. And yet here we are with Fox just thinking it's too fucking dangerous for her to be out and about like that. It's honestly, in a way, you could argue what he did, like, he had good intentions, but you could also argue it's a little on the sexist side.
Well, that's probably was like that. Like, it's like, oh no, I know some movie treated that somewhere, but yeah, no, it's the same thing of like...
Some movie, it's a trope as old as time itself.
They clearly took down the entire Aproid
Menace.
Yeah, together. She had a rocket launcher. It was cool. She took the rocket launcher with her, therefore the team was no longer cool.
I don't know why, I just love that you put special emphasis on she had a rocket launcher.
Honestly, by that point, I would expect you just outright call it a rocket launcher.
Correct.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
It was her personal engraved rocket launcher. Everyone loved it. It made her unique.
Is that why she was posing with it all for all those renders?
No, I just like
the idea. Wait, she was posing. I think she was posing with a sniper rifle, actually.
I think it was. I just love the idea of like I love the idea of that being the only thing that everyone remembered her for was Falco's like, I can't quite place her name. Who was she? She was the one with the rocket launcher. Oh, Crystal. Yeah, no, I remember the rocket launcher. Anyway, let's actually get to the villain, because remember we had a villain here.
Guys.
Again, easily the most forgettable villain in the series of Star Fox.
But at least they did something other than the monkey.
True, that is very true. I mean, again, and I'll give credit where it's due. Like these, as far as like actual design, like actual, I don't know, making a new sort of villain. Like honestly, a freaking Legion of Fish isn't that bad. Like I do like these designs too. It's just that it just doesn't help that they are not terribly interesting villains, let alone working with a pretty bare bones plot.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of cookie cutter, and they don't really get.
Well, maybe not so much bare bones plot, but bare bones writing style.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, because I know there's like a whole lot of different campaigns, I get the feeling that at least in one of them they do attempt to flesh them out a little bit more, but I get the feeling even at that
just gonna save you the trouble hype. They don't. They're about as one note as Andros.
At least Andros has like a slight bit of history to him.
True. In fact, honestly, that's when you put it that way. Yeah, they honestly do. Honestly, they're worse off than Andros because they're just suddenly there.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to fill the gap with the poor monkey put out of commission for good.
Honestly, when you really think about it like that, and the fact that we just kind of called Andros out on that, the closest thing that we kind of have to well-defined villains, and even then they're not like full-out villains, is Starwolf.
Right. And yet, well, they're more along the lines of anti-heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I mean, they're pretty much a mix of both, really. I mean, you got Star Fox 64 and the like, even the more recent games that treat them as bad guys, but then you got, well, this and Star Fox Assault treating them as anti-heroes. It's honestly a very similar case to, say, Base from the Mega Man games.
And Crystal got a new ship. She got her Cloud Runner again. Now that's Slippy let her because they gave her her old new ship.
Which I'll admit is kind of amusing you bring that up, because I think that's supposed to be a callback to Star Fox Adventures, where there were a race of pterodactyl-like beings called Cloud Runners.
Yeah, I think that was it.
neat,
Anyway,
And yes, Logan, that one, Geo Crysola Palace, that was a Cloud Runner.
yay! Yeah, no, that's right. They were Earth Stompers. They were like Cloud Runners or something else. Other people. Anyway, yeah. Also, by the way, yeah. Welcome to the final battle of this fight where we're just facing an entire army by ourselves.
Yeah, this is pretty much our final. This is our final area for this scenario. Kind of surprising we're doing it out in the middle of space as opposed to their home turf in the acidic.
Venom Sea. Well, that's the thing. We can't go down there. It's acid.
Yeah.
Even though I do think the Destiny, I do think the Key of Destiny allows us to play through a Star Wolf mission, which allows us to see how Crystal actually fought alongside her teammates in the acid sea.
Which well, you can do that with Fox as well, but can I just also bring up that also leads to probably one of the more fucked up endings in the game? Because they don't throw Crystal a fucking bone in that scenario.
Oh right, she's
They straight up just fucking abuse her.
Oh, I thought you were going to say kill her.
Well, okay, they kill. Okay, you know what? I should reword what I said. They kill off any sort of happy ending they could have given her.
No, a lot of her endings are not that happy in this. Doesn't she become like a loner bounty hunter because she didn't like working for them either?
Well, it's more. Well, that's the ending we're talking about. That's the one where,
yeah.
where basically people gave her shit because she was aligned with Star Wolf, and well, Star Wolf hasn't really exactly been giving her proper dues. So yeah, she essentially just abandons them and becomes this straight up bounty hunter that calls herself Cursed.
Dang.
Wow.
Whatever happened to Crystal's kingdom? Like her people again? Like is she the last one?
I don't know. Like, I do know you technically can go back and visit them in Assault, but I don't remember, like, how better or worse off they were there.
Honestly, I feel that's actually another thing. Like, when you go... I mean, obviously, we're not going to show this game off anytime soon. Unless, well, maybe Dolphin gets better. Dolphin is upgraded to a point where I could play it. But, Star Fox Adventures, the whole thing about Crystal is... She, like... You could argue that with the transition to Star Fox, they kind of just up and forgot to give her a proper backstory.
Yeah, because
let alone a purpose outside of just trying to find her family, which, well, that never gets followed up anytime soon.
Oh, come on, that should
it's
have
kind
been
of a
some damage,
shame
right?
because it's like, you know what? I guess I can go ahead and ask this because it's like, I think it's kind of somewhat common knowledge at this point that Star Fox Adventures used to be like its own unique game called Dinosaur Planet. Do you think it would have been interesting if they took whatever kind of lore that they were going to have in Dinosaur Planet and kind of use that as the basis for Crystal's backstory?
I feel like that's what they should have been doing if they were going to go that far. But at the same time, no, they just outright shafted her in favor of Fox.
I really do feel like, with everything that was happening, I really do feel like the game should have started Crystal.
Yeah, agreed. Like, honestly, it goes without saying, the fact making it a Star Fox game really did it no favors.
No, because you were now permanently comparing it to games of a far different caliber and design.
Right. It's way too stark of a difference. Which is honestly just. There's a lot. I think there's a lot that was unfortunately lost in translation with the merger. Like, especially if you like look into like the whole development history behind Dinosaur Planet, and it's just like
Cloud Runner.
I mean, it really is the biggest stinky point Nintendo's ever done with a independent game.
Actually, I guess I can say one more thing. Just one more food for thought for people. Like, you know, like we mentioned before, it's kind of clear that they're not in like a big rush to leave the whole 64 mold when it comes to Star Fox, in a sense of like they don't really want to touch on anything that was established afterwards, like with Assault and Command and whatnot. Do you think, with that being the case, that they could probably like take the opportunity to like, you know, properly revive Dinosaur Planet and actually make it like its own thing instead of being tied to Star Fox?
I feel like that would be up to Rare, considering that was their project.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess we can all talk about that since we need time to talk about it, because we're just doing the same battle and the same mechanic over and over. And
Which
over
now
and
that
over and
you know
over
what
again.
can I actually bring up one other thing I just realized?
Mm-hmm.
The more I think about it, like, it is. I do like everyone will agree that Dinosaur Planet really should not have been merged with Star Fox. At the same time, though, I can't feel that that project was pretty much doomed from the start, considering the fact it was originally going to be put on the N64 right on its last legs.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it was like, if not the N64, wasn't it originally going to be at some point for like the N64 DD?
Maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Like, this is honestly, as far as I'm concerned, this was pretty much the last project they were gonna make for the N64, like right after Conker's Bad Fur Day. And like, unfortunately, it just came to a point where they had no choice but to merge with the GameCube. But this was also around the time when the merger happened, when they, the merger, like when they pretty much left Nintendo in favor of Microsoft. So, and I guess by that point they were doing the whole thing with that and Star Fox. So it's like, all in all, Dinosaur Planet was fucked.
There was
really no saving it unless they wanted to like put it on the Xbox or something.
Right.
Which is why I said that I think it would have been. I'm sure some people would appreciate like the prospect of eventually going back and giving that idea like a more proper revival. You know, like make it the game it was meant to be. You know, before it turned into a Star Fox game.
Well, if they're gonna do that, I think they do need to do a lot more than what they did with Star Fox Adventures, because by itself, it's not a bad game, but it's pretty much babies for Zelda.
I can see
that's
that. Yeah.
really all it is.
Do you think, with the recent the recent partnership apparently between Nintendo and Microsoft, the first thing that came to my mind is, do you think we'll see a rare replay on Switch?
I do know that that's something a lot of people really want to see for the Switch. Oh. I was about to say, I do know that there's a lot of people that would love to see Rare Replay on Switch, to a point where I think some website actually touted that as an April Fool's joke.
I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. But I will say though, considering how they developed the Rare Replay, I feel like that would be an impossibility without sacrificing a good half of what was included. Because with the Rare Replay, I think only half of the games are on the disc, while others only just provide you with a Game Pass that lets you download all the other games straight from like the Xbox Live Arcade.
Well, they said they're adding Xbox Live Marketplace connectivity to Switch.
I think they mentioned Xbox Live compatibilities, not so much the Marketplace. If they could do the Marketplace on the Switch, that would be a complete game changer.
Yeah, not only would it be that, but it would also be kind of like, I get the feeling that they probably wouldn't like be too gung-ho with that, because wouldn't that give the eShop some competition?
No, well,
not really.
No, I feel like at the same time it could be something where not so much competition in the sense of Microsoft would have it if they added the marketplace, they would have their own games. I feel like at that point the deal should allow Nintendo to take some percentage of the payment of all sales and stuff, because
I just feel like the most likely thing they would do if they wanted to put like the games from the Rare Replay onto the Switch is to just release them on the Switch by themselves.
Okay, what to do on the
which honestly is not an impossibility. It's just a matter of if they want to put the time and money into it. Like, imagine how much people will fucking freak when the Banjo duology is put on the system through the eShop.
I don't know if we're saying duology, because that's all they're. Oh my gosh, that asteroid field.
Fucking asteroid.
Got it.
Again,
Okay.
just the asteroid belt combined with the fucking space fog and the missiles. Like, these can get pretty fucking tense.
Which again, it had been a while since I recorded this in like sessions, because again I actually died a couple times on all these fights, and when you die, it is like right back to the beginning. Also, somehow this rocket got its health back.
You say die, don't you mean like just straight up losing all your turns?
Yeah, losing your turns,
or having your
losing
response
turns.
blown up.
Yeah, so I've had to restart a couple of these fights, and by this point I had forgotten that you can actually on the start of each turn use your stylus to clear away the fog of war a bit.
Yeah, which, I mean, even then, you can only clear up some of the fog, not all of it.
Yep, okay, the base has got to be in there somewhere.
It better be. Like,
Go!
considering all the fucking shit and stuff we're trying to fly through, it better be worth our while.
Alright, the Fox boys are in. Who's gonna save the universe? Slippy.
The foxes are back in town, the foxes are back in town.
Oh yeah, the dumbest thing just came to my mind right now.
What's that?
Again, the
Star Fox musical?
Well, to be honest, I would love to see
Pretty
that.
dumb.
Like honestly, if they're not gonna finish up freaking episode 2 of A Fox in Space anytime soon, make that a thing. But I digress. Again, with Starlink and how they're including the other Star Fox pilots as playable characters for that, it will be a sad day if they don't. When playing as Peppy, you don't. Whenever you do your whole dodge or whatever, he still keeps on saying barrel roll.
And then have one of the Starlink guys saying, "Actually, looking at that maneuver, isn't that called a barrel roll?" Completely oblivious to what they're talking about.
You know what? I would say they probably won't do that because it would either, if not be annoying after a while, they'd be like, I'm not quite sure if they'd be like that into it. But then again, they reference Tatooine, so it's like, I guess anything's possible.
Yeah. And
Whatever.
you know, he was making the Star Wars joke that is basically
Right.
Tatooine.
That's fair.
Yeehaw! Peppy will be proud. Seriously, Peppy would be proud in this game because, as you've been seeing this whole time, they put so much more emphasis on the barrel roll technique in this game.
Well, speaking of, there is a chapter in the game where you can play as Peppy.
Yay!
I was about to say, that being said, it does make
Oh,
me wonder.
Anglar.
I will fight you to the death.
It does kind of make me wonder if, like, you know, with how much you kind of like constantly barrel roll, do you think there was ever a gag where they would just kind of get like car sick because of it?
Maybe. I honestly, at this point, with where we are in the future of this series, I honestly would not be surprised if maybe their ships were designed. It would be so cool if their ships were designed in such a way that the cockpit was actually on a central like tube-like chamber, separate from the rest of the ships. So when they did an aileron roll, by the way, hey,
I think that might be the entire point of the. Well, that's okay. But I honestly think that's the entire point of the G diffuser system.
That could be it.
Could make it, yeah.
But yeah, I had this idea where like the chamber would be a little bit separate, so that when they did a barrel roll, the entire ship spun. The entire ship spun. Oh geez, new.
Have fun with this boss fight, Logan. Because if you were doing any of his other boss fights, you would be fucking cringing.
Yeah,
Why?
I'll believe you on that but for this particular thing, Devil Damney's a pushover.
Wait, so what are we talking about with the different boss fights? Wait, what's wrong with Anglar?
I think when you're fighting him in the sea, he's riding a completely different ship, and his tactics can get pretty, hectic.
How did you do that?
And with that, Star Fox saved the day.
I need a new ship.
Hopefully one with my face on it.
Oh Jesus, you actually get that?
I believe that's what he uses in the in his proper final boss.
Yeah. So with all these different endings, is there a true final ending?
No, they don't pull the same shit as Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's good.
Definitive ending. All you get are the 9 endings.
Because man, wouldn't that suck if you were forced to go through all 9 of those campaigns just to find a 10th one?
Honestly, you know what, you say that, I'd honestly do that more than I would. Well, honestly, I did. I actually put up getting all 9 of those endings compared to getting all the endings in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, my thing is that, like, I just mean, like, in general, that would be such an arduous task.
Yeah, I mean, again, the biggest problem with it is just the fact that, well, there's not enough variety with what you do in these levels.
Mm-hmm.
It all just starts to blend in after a while. Oh, hey, Wolf.
Hey, Wolf.
There you go.
You can do it.
Alright.
I was that you always manage to swoop in and spoil things.
You said swoop.
We needed this one, but you wet-nosed whelps had to ruin it all, you bitch.
Hey, quit your whining, Fuzzy. We'll make sure that the bounty's taken off your hands.
Wolf, Panther, Leon, thank goodness you're not hurt.
It was a barrel of laughs,
I
princess.
forgot she's a princess.
Although I think this
Old
old
panther's feeling a bit heartbroken.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, where did they find Panther anyway?
Panther,
I forget. Where did they find Panther again in Assault?
They just...
yeah, it was an assault.
He's just there.
And what were you crying about earlier, lover boy?
We'll meet again, Star Fox.
Like literally,
Well,
they
at
just as far as we're concerned, they just pulled him out of some freaking shady shack, and well, now he's the third member.
It's yeah.
Sorry about all of that.
Yeah,
It's
sorry.
really one of those things
Can't
that
hear
you-
you. What was that, Panther? Yeah, they really mellowed out. Yeah, they're not really villains so much. They're just a different faction, I guess.
They're just honestly.
I compete.
They're just competitors, and honestly, the more I think about it, how they act in this game is honestly comparable to the rivalry between Scrooge McDuck and
Flintheart Glumgold.
Yeah,
It's just a competing brand name. I'll be right back.
exactly. Oh, damn it! Don't leave us out like this. Hey, Peppy.
Yeah.
As a former Star Fox member myself, I'm so proud right now.
I wish I was there fighting alongside you. I could show you some more pointers on how to do a 80-second barrel roll.
No
Jeez,
thanks.
I'm
I
back.
think after the 81st one, our heads need a little bit of air.
That just builds character.
But yeah,
This is
that's
finally
it.
gonna return to the galaxy for 5 minutes.
Yeah, like honestly, with this ending, at first it just seems like your typical ending, like all's well that ends well. Then
Everything's
well,
cool.
it just seems
Well.
the gang's all back together and they can move on with their lives. And then, well, we'll get to the ending bit in just a sec here.
Which is again, I think that their encouragement of
Nah, kind of screwed up.
Better than your father.
yes,
which I mean, I like that. I like the idea that this game develops more of the fact of sure we were doing a lot of fighting and stuff in all the other games, but this one delves more into being a leader of an entire squadron, giving them orders and like tactics and stuff like that.
It's like
which which again, if it weren't for the fact that all the mission, like all the stages you go through are like you do the same damn thing, I feel like that's something I think future Star Fox games should put more of a focus on.
But I like that. I like the idea of us not only meeting the same not only being able to match that of our father, but actually now surpass him.
Like
It's
honestly,
kind of a cool thing.
if they're ever to do another Star Fox game, I wouldn't mind them trying again with what they tried with 2.
Oh.
Yeah, where you remember, Logan, like basically we're just going through all across the Lilat system in a similar fashion to this, where we have 2 Star Fox buddies on tow and have them just do your usual stuff. And now for our ending.
Back Thomas.
The members of Star Fox had reunited once more. Again, they put differences to one side and took the fight to the enemy. And when the dust had cleared, peace had once again returned to Lilat. Yet Fox is still troubled by complicated feelings.
Did I
he
leave
didn't
the stove on?
Because he didn't apparently mature one bit in this adventure.
Nope, he went back to doing the same stupid shit that got him in this situation in the first place.
Months pass. One dark day, Crystal makes a startling confession.
I'm sorry, folks. I can't do this anymore. I'm going back to be with Panther and the rest of Star Wolf.
Fox was overcome with grief and begged Crystal to stay, but her mind was set.
Ah, well, okay, I guess it's not entirely the same, but, well, I guess
That blubbering crybaby called him back.
pretty much.
Once again, Fox McCloud was forced to wander the world alone and unloved.
Whatever happened to Falco and Slippy?
But Crystal has no such regrets. She's perhaps the toughest of all the pilots, and she proves it by starting a new life in the elite Star Wolf Squadron.
I mean, now that I think about it, maybe she just felt bad that we essentially did steal their thunder in that whole thing.
That, I'm looking at that image, it looks like she's flying backwards. The little scamp.
It does. It really fucking does. But yeah,
it's just her ship.
this is where we get the key of destiny.
The road to the future contains many paths. The fate of Fox and his companions have been entrusted to you.
Now play the game all over again.
Pretty much. This is the whole point where all those paths that had a lock on them, now this... I think it's a cool idea to end the game, because now you thought you played a pretty decent thing, but now this has just opened up all of the different scenarios, and now the game has become quite a bit larger. So, but however, that's all I'm going to show off, because I mean, what I just showed is pretty much all this game offers. Those different little sequences, and I think that's fine enough.
Right. I mean, honestly, all things considered, I know this isn't gonna jive with everyone, but I went to the trouble of getting all 9 endings, and save for maybe 1 or 2 cases, I still had a pretty decent time with this game. I do like its concept. I do agree with that. There has to be a little more variety in the stuff you do. Like it's not all. It shouldn't be all about just killing certain mooks just to get their star markers or whatever, or just blasting the UFO or whatnot. I feel like for a game like this, there needs to be more than that.
Right. There could.
And honestly, I feel like a game like, say, Star Fox 2 kind of got that right, though I also feel like that game is a far shorter experience by comparison, so I think it gets away with that.
Right, but I hear you there. I think I think having them all be all range mode battles kind of got a bit old.
Yeah,
they could have done more.
I feel like I feel like it could have helped more if like there was more than like maybe like actual straight up grounded levels. Like maybe you're going through something that's a little more on rails, or you're pretty much going through an enemy base, or just again stuff that Star Fox 2 did.
Variety, but yeah. With that said, I think we've pretty much at this point shown off every main Star Fox game that is wanting to be remembered. We'll get to Adventures at some point if it works, but yeah, I mean, with that said, and when James gets off his butt to do Starlink at some point with that, I mean, I can't blame him because the Star Fox expansion hasn't been added,
especially now that we have the news of the expansion to the Star Fox missions. Like, yeah, I mean, I'll think of something to do with that game, because I'm not sure if I still want to do that as like I don't know. I don't think I want to do that as a full-time thing, but maybe if I can, I'll either dedicate like a elongated look at of it, or maybe just say screw it and do all the Star Fox missions if I have the patience to do so.
Right. I don't know how long that experience is, but I feel like something to show off the most recent like iteration of it at least. But
honestly, if I can keep my EXP level, like all my experience gained and all the cool stuff I can do, like and redo it, like in doing a new playthrough and just go for all the Star Fox missions, I think I can make something out of it. But again, that's something I'll have to try out for myself and see if that'll work.
Yep. Hype, want to give us your final thoughts, then we'll close.
Honestly, I don't know what all I can really say that hasn't already been said as far as the game goes. It's like, I think it does have some intrigue in it, and elements that I wouldn't mind seeing return in a future Star Fox, just not executed in the way that Command does it. And, well, I guess, I'm trying to say, the multiple endings thing I think is an interesting concept on paper, and to be fair, some of them are kind of humorous for their own reasons, but at the same time, it just feels like one of those things where it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, this game would have been a lot better if they had a different mindset of execution.
Yeah, like this was clear. This was obviously a pretty heavy experiment for them, and I think it's one of those cases that only was only to meet halfway through its potential.
Right. So, yeah. With that said, until we next, enter the Lilat system or go somewhere else, for once, please. We hear Pokemon ranting about the Kanto system. We can't go to one other star system. Anywhoozin'. So, with that said, thank you all so much for watching this little sort of commentary of Star Fox Command. I was Lucky Jack 20.
I'm James McLeod.
Bye.
Thank you, son. Till next time, guys.
You're becoming more like your father.